Okay, well, today we are here at the magical Goodwill, the most magical Goodwill in all the land. We are here at Avondale. It just sounds magical. And we're about to head in and see what we can find that we can flip for a profit. So, here we go. Dagny and I split up like we normally do. She went to the right and I went to the left. Well, I kind of maybe just went straight. And I found this pencil cookie jar. I wasn't sure about it at first, but when I looked inside, there was some crazing, a little bit of discoloration. I thought, you know what, this has got a little bit of age to it. And I thought it would be perfect for a teacher's desk, maybe some prizes for the kids, and I grabbed it and stuck it in my cart. Over here, I spotted this figurine, and I had seen some similar recently. I just could not recall where they come from or who makes them. So I was having a little bit of a brain fog, and I left that behind, and I hope I don't regret it. This basket was adorable. It was kind of shaped like a starfish, but I loved the blue thread on it, and I guess I just tossed it right in my cart. This art glass piece caught my eye, and it was iridescent, but it just didn't seem to have a whole lot of age or value. I did like this, which is just kind of a handkerchief piece, and I did like the iridescence on this. So where I left the other one behind, I did grab this one for 99 cents. Then I found this. And this right here had kind of Egyptian vibes to it, and I'm suspecting it may be an Egyptian revival piece, which would date it to about the 1920s. That's just speculation, but with the camels and the palm trees and everything else, it was $9.99, but I figured that I could get upwards of $40 for it. That company there on the bottom does a ton of chintz, and their chintz pieces can be worth very good money. You can see I have my backup camera there in the cart because my camera is dying. That's what that is. That is my backup camera. The one responsible for all the fuzzy footage you usually see. This tray right here had birds on it, a butterfly, and on the back it was marked Palomar, Mexico. And I absolutely loved the design of it. I loved the colors. They were a little bit muted, and so I stuck that right in there. Up here on the shelf, I saw these little napkin rings. I could see that there was a sticker underneath the Goodwill sticker, but I just wasn't sure about them. And eventually, Dagny came through, and she had found two others on the other side, and she got them all. This was Pier 1 Imports, and I left that behind. There are certain Pier 1 pieces that do have a high resale value, but I am looking for those bunny plates. This looks like it could be Blanco. It was $6.99. I was really shocked that there was no damage on it. I had to look it over a couple times and then reevaluate how I was going to put it in my cart. Right there on top of the camera. This is how I treat my things. There we go. I fixed it. This candle was curious. I actually considered buying this. And then I was like, nah, I really don't need a toilet-shaped candle. I've seen pieces like this before, and I've never bought them for resale. Today I decided I was going to do it. There was markings there on the back, and it said authentic crafted Navajo Indian sandcraft. And it did look like real turquoise as well, so I decided that I would see what I could do with this clock without having researched it or looked up comps. Now, I did find another lighthouse lamp, and I had picked up a lighthouse lamp here a couple weeks ago. I found in research that selling them as pairs do better, so I was pretty thrilled to have found another lighthouse lamp. Now I have a pair. This was a nice shape. It was marked on the bottom IKEA, and so I did pass on it. Underneath that frame there, I did see the string art. You can see there is a little bit of damage on the flower, which is unfortunate, but I loved the size of it, and I loved the contrast of the colors. I think that's what attracted me to this. And on the back, there was a nice little note Happy Mother's Day, I love you. And then it had been donated to the Goodwill, which always makes me sad. I always wonder what the story is. Like, why is this here? What happened? This ship was carved of wood. It looked like the bottom piece was possibly driftwood, and there was BD carved in the bottom of it. I thought that was a nice nautical piece. This tollware piece was nice. Unfortunately, the lid was damaged on that. You can see there are lots of purses, and I've had really good luck with the purses here at this location. I did look through them. I had to glance in the bin as I walked by, but it was full of shoes. I don't really do much with shoes. I wouldn't know the first thing about reselling shoes, but I know that there is value in shoes. This sculpture was very interesting, and I wasn't sure exactly what was going on here. It was really big and curious. These little Westies here on the end of the shelf, I did consider these. They were sand cast or sandy cast. Looking back, I probably could have grabbed them. That has a tendency to chip a lot, but because they're white, the chips really wouldn't have been that noticeable. These were nice, but unfortunately, there were lots of chips and they were very noticeable. And so, unfortunately, they got left behind. This figurine looked to be of good detail, and so I turned it over to see what the bottom says. And it does say Sebastian. I'm not sure if that has anything to do with Sebastian miniatures, but I did leave that behind because it was not something that I was familiar with. I usually check these out. Sometimes they're fun colors, but those ones weren't really interesting to me. So I met back up with Dagny, and she had found this little cat. There was a chip on the ear, which was unfortunate, but it had the same markings on the bottom that my tray had. So I had to show her, look, I found some too, and mine's got birds on it. So that was kind of fun. We both found a piece. And at 99 cents, she was willing to forgive that chip. When we look at chips and cracks, we usually consider how much we're investing into it before we say, you know what, I think I'll take that chance. This was absolutely adorable. It was a Joseph's original with the original tag nonetheless. She also found these little mice and the napkin holders, and I sent her on her way down to the very end to collect the other two. This dish, I kind of liked the colors of it, but I couldn't tell if they were fighting or not. And I'm like, I didn't really want to endorse the fighting of the chickens. And so I passed on it. There is a smiley face mug there on the end cap. And every time I see those, I always think of my YouTuber friend, Yvonne Thrifty Rich. Every time. Now, there were a lot of shiny gold things up on the top shelf. This was one of them. It was $2.99. It was fine china, but the gold on that was so vibrant and so shiny that I could not leave it behind. And then there was a fox. And unfortunately, he had a little chip on his nose, but I ended up picking this up for myself because I like foxes, and I figured I could use it at my bedside to put my jewelry in. There was a duck over here, right next to that copper shoe. That was also interesting. These I thought were going to be metal, and they ended up being just plastic. Now this I wasn't really sure about. I was kind of a little bit hesitant, but I looked at the bottom and it was California, USA. So because it was California and there were no chips, no cracks, it had its original holder, I did decide to grab it, and it was $12.99. So it was a little spendy. I liked the glaze on this, but I suspect that it's a modern decor piece. I see a lot of that glaze in modern decor pieces. Back over here on the shiny aisle, I found this, and it still had its original tags. It was bright gold. It was made in India, $6.99. I bought this for myself as well. I figured I could hang this up and maybe find something to hang off of it. I'm sure I could find something, but I just loved that it had birds on it, and it was shiny, and it was a nice piece. Up on the top shelf, I liked this little jar. I liked the raised texture of it and the white on white. I wasn't sure if it would have had a lid, so I was kind of looking to see if there was any wear indication that there would have been a lid. It was $1.99, and I left it. There we go, looking at single mugs again. There were a bunch of cat mugs on the shelf, and I thought they were adorable. I liked the pattern on this dish. There were no markings on the bottom. It was $1.99. I know I've seen that before, but I just wasn't sure. Now Dagny has all of the napkin rings, and she found a switch plate with birds on it. This had a courting couple on it, and this appeared to be Sirocco wood out of Syracuse, New York. I kind of was a little bit hesitant about that. I haven't done tremendously well with those pieces, so I think that kind of influenced my decision in leaving it behind. Now, there was a ceramic cat here on the end cap, and I did pick this up and look it over. There was some cracking on it, unfortunately, but two of the first items to sell out of my antique booth were ceramic cats. And so I now pick up ceramic cats for resale because I stick them in my booth. With the damage there, I probably wouldn't consider that. At first glance, this looked good, but I wasn't sure. It was crystal clear, made in Indonesia, and you could see it had a modern barcode on the bottom. This had me a little bit puzzled because it looked to be EAPG, but at the same time, I was getting mixed vibes off of it. So I really went back and forth with this one. Could not decide. It was an angel on a star. I ended up leaving it. And then I met the staff of the Goodwill, and they all wanted to say hi.
Hi. Say hi! Oh, I love it.
So make sure you say hi back in the comment section. There wasn't a whole lot in the clear. I did find this giant snifter, and it weighed probably 15 pounds. And I wasn't sure if that was the candle inside or the glass, but you can see it's a really solid piece. And even though I really liked it, I didn't. I left it. I also didn't have room in my cart. I probably could have commandeered Dagny's cart. She has shared with me in the past, but I'm sure someone will come along and absolutely love it. Dagny found this adorable little frog planter with mushrooms, and I thought it was the cutest thing. It will be available in her eBay shop, which is linked down below under the Shop with Our Friends link. You can find it there. I found this little guy, and I thought he was adorable. He must have stuck his butt in some cactuses. Anyway, I thought he was really cute. And I kind of went back and forth about him, but then I realized he wasn't priced, and I wasn't sure that they would sell it to me. This was on the bottom shelf, and it actually made us think of Misty because it was a clown. She loves clowns. I liked this mug, and so I decided to turn it over and look at it, and then that voice in my head said, "You don't need mugs. You don't need single mugs," and so I put it back down. That little framed artwork piece did have a nice little note on it at the back as well. I thought that maybe this could be Lennox, but when I turned it over, it did not look like Lennox. Maybe it was. I wasn't sure. There was a Goodwill sticker on it. I noticed the artwork underneath here, and I do like to look at the artwork at this Goodwill because I have found good artwork here in the past, a nice oil painting. So I do kind of look through the artwork when I have a chance. My mom used to have a ton of these when we were growing up, these little shortbread punches. But I resisted and I left it there. Dagny found an M&M mug, and now those single mugs can be worthwhile. And then there was a giant unicorn on the bottom, and I was glad I didn't have Juliet with me. You can see Dagny found that same vase, and I found these mugs that had prawns on them. I kind of liked the prawns. I thought they were weird, and there was a pair. But I passed on the pair of mugs. This looked to be some sort of aviation mug, and the back was marked. The plate down there looked to have some age to it. This hand-painted purse I thought looked interesting, and so I did decide to take a closer look at this, see if there was any branding on the inside. I believe that somebody just decided one day that they were going to paint their purse, and I don't believe that it was anything special. But it does say girl power, and it has some cacti on it. There was a sparkly purse there, right behind the Vera. I did like this one, but I didn't feel like it was the best quality. Now we decided to look through the dresses, and there were some very interesting dresses here. I'm not a clothes reseller. I will preface this by saying I'm not a clothes reseller, but I saw these and they just seemed to be very good quality. And I decided, you know what, today might be the day. Today might be the day that I get into clothes reselling, or I keep them for myself. I still haven't decided, but these were marked Christy Dawn, and I loved the floral patterns on them. It looks to be like a vintage floral pattern, even though they were new with tags. I liked those. This piece, it said Dagny on it, but it also said made in China, and so I ended up passing up on that. But Dagny came through later and looked it up, and it's worth a couple $100. So she ended up taking that home with her to list. This dress right here was marked Travada, and it had a similar look and feel to the Christy Dawn dresses, and so I did decide that I would take this one as well. I don't think the resale value is as high as the Christy Dawn dresses, but I liked the pattern of it, and I liked the florals. I guess I'm a floral kind of girl, but I don't wear dresses, so... See, look at that. Another floral pattern catches my eye. Dagny and I were joking that this looked like someone had taken craft scissors to the straps. Then I spotted a dress peeking out, this one right here, and it felt good. I don't know how to describe it. I worked at a dry cleaner, so I touch things and I feel fabrics, and this one felt good. Sure enough, we looked at the tag and it was marked Dolce & Gabbana, made in Italy, size 40. It was way down on the inside of the dress, so I was pretty thrilled with that find. I'm not even sure what the resale value is, but I recognized the brand, and so I should get points for that. Now, Dagny did pull out this bright orange Ghani dress. I guess it's a dress that I had looked at earlier, and I was telling her, you should take that. You should definitely take that. After having found out how much it's worth, I discounted it because it was made in China, but goodness gracious, I'm never going to discount anything made in China ever again. And Dagny is probably going to get some good money for that. Now, we did go back towards the hard goods one last time, and I saw the teapots that I had left behind the last time I was here at this Goodwill. They were still there. And someone had mentioned in the comments who makes them, and I looked up comps. They sell for about $20 a piece. So since they were still there this time around, I just decided, you know what? I will take them and I will sell them because they were really cute. They caught my eye the last time. They were actually in my cart, and then I let them go.
All right, well, I feel like that was a fun adventure. We got some really good stuff. Our total spend was $153 because I feel like I paid up for those dresses. But having looked them up and having seen what brands they were, I was comfortable paying those prices. So hopefully it turns out okay. I'm kind of in this debate on whether I should list them, buy it now, or if I should do an auction, because I don't really do a whole lot of clothing. So I'm kind of trying to decide, do I do clothing by it now? Is that like, I don't know. I had to think about that. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here now. I'm going to head home, and it's about 2 hours for me. So I will see all of you tomorrow. Later.